is that Notre Dame has no right to hold the rest of the college football world hostage. That would be like if Arkansas held the SEC hostage. It's pathetic. This elitist attitude from Notre Dame needs to calm down, and they just need to join a conference. I'm not listen. They joined the Big Ten. They're going to be the sixth best school in the Big Ten after USC and UCLA joins. Why should we care? Oh my gosh, they played Wisconsin close. I mean, Wisconsin, they lost to Minnesota last year. It's unbelievable what Notre Dame has done to the college football world.
Well, I, like you, the real MVP, have suggested freezing out Notre Dame. But maybe we should, just for fun, leave this stipulation. If you want to make the playoff, you have to go undefeated and win every game by 3 touchdowns. So that's if you don't want to play in a conference, that's your barometer. If you hit it, fine. You've got entry into the playoff, but you need to beat everyone by 21 points.
Right. Well, and they should at least have one top 5 or top 10 team that they have to play every year, like in Ohio State, like Alabama, like Oklahoma. Well, maybe not Oklahoma as much in the future. USC, for example.
That could be a good idea right there. Notre Dame, you can stay independent. You're eligible for the playoff, but we will make your schedule for you. And we'll make sure you play Stanford and USC and Navy, whoever else. That's pretty much it. Those are their 3 that they stick with every year, but we'll make out the rest of the schedule for you.
Right. And listen, Notre Dame I'm not blaming them for taking this route because, if I was them, I would do the exact same thing. They've got no reason to move. The ACC needs to do something about them. The Big Ten needs to do something about them. And the rest of the conferences need to do something about them, but especially the ACC. To be embarrassed as a conference, to be a joke, especially in 2020, just allowing ND to go through, whip on everybody in your conference, and then shockingly, when Clemson had all their players, they lost by 31 points. Who could have seen that coming? When was the last time Notre Dame has won a big game that didn't involve half the team that was valuable being gone?
When is the last time Notre Dame won a big game? They played in a lot of big games. When have they won one? That's a great question.
Was it when Tennessee was relevant?
Now, they did go to a BCS championship game, and they were 12-0. So they obviously had to win games leading up to it against pretty good teams. I don't know that any of those teams you would consider to be elite.
We all knew that they had no shot to win that championship.
Oh, that was, I don't care what this final score was. That was the most lopsided game that I've ever seen at that level as a championship game. Like Nebraska crushed Florida back in '95, and the final score was really embarrassing. But it was at least a game for like near halftime, like that from the opening. Like Alabama ran like Alabama ran like 2 plays, and I thought this is going to be awful.
So what, as somebody who, if you told somebody who's brand new to college football, hey, we've got this one team who's a top 15 to 10 team every single year, they're going to hold the rest of the sport hostage because of their elitist religious values, and not taking down religion, because I like religion, everybody likes religion, but because they have these religious values, these elitist values, what would you say to that fan? That fan would probably go, what the heck is going on here?
This is college football. It's haphazard. There's not a governing body. There's not a commissioner. The conferences run around and do whatever they want.
But what does the conferences get from Notre Dame not doing anything?
Well, they're allowing Notre Dame to operate independently.
Yeah, why?
Because they can still schedule games against Notre Dame and make money.
Okay, but would they make more money if they just joined the conference fully?
And if one conference took a stand, let's say the Big Ten said, you know what, you didn't want to join us, we're not scheduling you, but then everyone else would have to do the same thing to get and because the conferences don't schedule the non-conference games, you would have to get everybody on board in college football to not schedule Notre Dame. And obviously, we just need the Power Five or whatever it's going to be to freeze out Notre Dame, because you know what? Notre Dame, schedule as many MAC schools and Sun Belt Conference schools as you want to. You can load up on them and go 12-0, but you're not going to get selected to the playoffs. But we would have to have the cooperation of every school, because they all get to schedule their own non-conference games, which is stupid.
Right. But I mean, if they schedule them non-conference games, they're going to have to be all high-quality opponents anyway, and Notre Dame's going to lose them because they can't win against a high-quality opponent. So it just solves itself out. I don't see the downside in anything you propose. I mean, what? Notre Dame's not going to make a New Year's Six bowl, and maybe some other team like NC State has a chance to win one before Notre Dame?
Oklahoma State did. If we sat here and listed all the schools that have won New Year's Six games since Notre Dame last did, shoot, Baylor has, Kansas has.
Notre Dame. Okay, I'm going to make my record prediction for them right now. They're going 9-3. They're not going to make a New Year's Six bowl game. They'll go to the Holiday Bowl, the Tax Slayer Bowl, the Citrus Bowl, and they can get some nice swag there.